All right, we're back in the garage. Well, actually, the Camaro's back in the garage. I had to store it somewhere else. And guess what? The engine isn't in it, nothing's in it, except maybe, oh, look, the Millennium Falcon that I made. Anyways, that thing is heavy to push, let me tell you, on those little caster wheels. But anyways, what we're gonna do now is, our goal is to get this in the engine. We still have some stuff to put on here. I still gotta put the flex plate. I got the fuel rail that was supposed to show up but has not. And the transmission is in the shop for the next week. It has to be rebuilt because everything's burnt in it. So it's out of an 02 Camaro SS. So somebody rode it hard and it burned out the clutches and stuff like that. But anyways, it's getting rebuilt. It's going to have all the upgrades, the sun shell, I think they're doing a upgrade, the LS6 servo, so the shifting's a little better. I don't know, but yeah, that's a chunk out of the budget I did not expect. So gonna have to start eating crackers soon. Anyways, first thing we gotta do is get this ready, and to do that we got to take the fenders off and store them somewhere else. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, there it is. Everything's sort of wrapped up. In the process of get it all wrapped up. But I haven't had these off in a while, man. It's been like 6 months. So I got to clean off the subframe, and we'll get that going. And we're back. All right, everything's wiped down. Used a little bit of simple green and cleaned all the dirt off, or dust. Removed some spider webs, killed a couple spiders. And I started to do the sway bar, so I'm going to go ahead and finish and show you what I'm doing. All right, and for installing the sway bar, from what I understand, it goes over this support for the two main supports. Actually, it's the two only supports in the subframe, and it goes through that, and it goes up and over the lower control arm. And since this is an aftermarket control arm, I'm going to use this hole right here. There's three, but I'm going to use this one. And from the old lower control arm, that's where the hole was, I'm pretty sure. But I'm going to go ahead and use that, link it up right there, and then I'll show you where the mounts go. Just to give you a view of how I'm hooking up the sway bar links. This is an aftermarket sway bar link. Start off with a washer, bushing, slide that in, and it's just sandwich everything. Take the bushing, slide it on, take the washer, slide it on, then there's a sleeve, slide that on. And another washer, bushing, now at this point you want to go ahead and install, and like I said, you're going to go to this hole right here. Install that. And then you're just going to put the underneath, you're going to take the washer, or the bushing, washer, and then put the nut on, and you're done. Both sides. Okay, the bushings for the sway bar, two U-shaped bushings. They mount like this, and this goes around the bar. And then it has this, which is just clamped together and sits around the bar. And I'm not really sure what the function of it is, but it's there. This is the original manual, and you can see this sleeve right there. It doesn't hook to anything, I don't think. It just goes around the bar so the bar doesn't move back and forth or something, but I don't see how that works. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. It goes, I guess, right behind, right there. I don't know, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Here's a finished product, I guess, or finished process. Here's a sway bar link. As you can see, it's sandwiched. Then it goes down and it sandwiches. You got the rubber on top of the lower control arm, and then a rubber underneath with a washer and a bolt. There's a washer up here as well. So it's just sandwiched. And on the subframe underneath, this U-shaped bracket is, you just wrap the bushing around the bar, and then I use the original bolts. I just put some that ARP high torque grease on there, and it went right in. It's good. And like I said, I put this sleeve on, and you know, I couldn't find the original bushing, so I just used some bushings from a bottom of a shock. I mean, they looked. I have the original ones, I guess, but they're all rotted, and these were the closest I could get, and nobody online had them that I could see. So and it doesn't really do anything. I did read something that it prevents the bar from going left and right. I don't see that as being a function of this, but it's on there. I could use it as a bracket or whatever. But that's it for the sway bar. Let's move on to the steering linkage. All right, the steering linkage. Here's a page out of the original manual. First thing we're going to hook up is we're going to start over here with the idler arm. We're going to go ahead and screw that in, and then we'll go down to the outer tie rod ends and put those in on either side. I do not have a steering box yet. I gotta wait for payday. So the pitman arm is not going to be connected today. It'll be connected at a later date, and we'll go from there. I might have to undo something, but I want to get this connected, and we'll do the other both sides of the outer tie rods. But let's go ahead and get started. All right, there's the steering linkage. Like I said, tie rod ends, the outer tie rod ends. You do the same thing for the other side. And the idler arm we did, and we don't have the steering box yet, so we'll have to wait on that. That's over there. Anyways, that's all I got for that. And don't forget your cotter pins. Next, we're going to go ahead and look at the shocks. The shocks that I picked up are Duralast, and they're just shocks. That's all they are. Yes, I wanted coilovers, but you know, you got to go with what you got. It comes with bushings, washers, and these are 14 millimeter for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, I did have a set of bolts for the bottom. You see, this is how it's going to hook up. The bolts go on the bottom, bushing on top, and it's all about the sandwich. Sandwich these in between the top of the shock, underneath the support, and then on top of that just sandwich in between, just like we did on the sway bar arms down below. All right, let's do it. And that's the shocks. Just make sure you tighten down everything. Now the aftermarket package I bought, and it came with these clips. You don't need them because on the inside there's a nut already welded on there. So you just needed the bolts. At least on mine, it's showing a clip or something that they have on there, but that wasn't there. So that side's done. Let's go ahead and do the other side. I'll be back in a minute. Alrighty, we put the shocks in, the sway bar, and the steering linkage without the steering box. So, everything went in pretty, uneventful. It just takes me longer to do everything. But let me show you something on wiring. Right, here's the wiring harness for the engine, and I don't really like it. I mean, it'll function. Actually, that one won't. This one will. It'll function, but there's the tape on here is really brittle. It's greasy. I really don't want to put this dirty thing on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip it down and pull off all the tape and the connectors, and then redo everything with new tape. It's cloth tape. I saw that they also used electrical tape, but this stuff it gets pretty hot around there. I don't know, it might melt. But I don't know, this stretches when you put it on. This won't. I'll show you in a minute. Let me pull all the tape off and I'll be right back. All right, all the tape's off. It did have electrical tape all over it. Made it difficult, but the old cloth tape was very brittle. But anyhow, I did use a utility knife to cut it off, so you got to be super careful, and it takes a long time. But there it is. I mean, there was nothing really wrong with it that I could see. All the connectors we'll clean up later after we get it all taped up. So all I'm going to do is just throw some tape on. So there's both of them done. As you can see, it's just wrapping up a mummy, It's not too bad. I just not the clip that goes there, but it'll work. I am missing one that's right here. And this one over here is broke. So I have to go to the junkyard. Another junkyard run, yay. Anyways, that's about it. I just didn't want to put a dirty thing back on there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean these off with the brush. Make sure there's no gunk on them, and they'll be good to go. See what happens. All right, here are the wiring harness for the coil packs. I mean, it just looks the same basically, but I put new cloth tape on, and that's all I really wanted to do. Again, there's these clips are different, but they'll still work. They came out of the different vehicles, but they had the same coil packs on them, so not worried about it. Not now, because I'm not trying to start it and cussing it out. Oh man. Anyways, that's all I got today, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time on Alien Restomod Garage.